during the 18th century. But they have kept their old culture, their folk culture, their drumming culture, their singing culture, their dancing culture, up till now. And interestingly, in Uruguay, in Montevideo, they have kept this tradition until now by introducing different drumming groups in different parts of the city, mahalle mahalle. For instance, the Shishli group of candombe players or the Erenköy group of candombe players, it's called candombe groups. Candombe yazılıyor. Candombe groups. So they compete during the carnival time, and whichever is considered better, I suppose, gets some kind of prize. But at the same time, it's not like Rio Carnival. It's not like that at all. It's much more based on the old African tradition. Can we watch the Candombean Calle Isla de Flores? With their old tribal beliefs, sort of mixed up with Baptist Christianity or evangelist Christianity, the whole thing became something else. We can go on with this.
The 20th century was not even 2 decades old when the first jazz record reached the public in 1917. But the world had already changed in ways no one could have predicted. And the unspeakable carnage of World War I was only part of that change. In the new modern world, human beings could fly. X-ray photographs could see through skin to bones. Sigmund Freud, listening to his patients as they spoke to him from a couch in his office, found new ways to understand the human mind. Pablo Picasso painted his subjects from every viewpoint, all at once. And Albert Einstein described a continuum of space and time. Jazz music became the soundtrack to that modern world. And in America, it became a national craze. Thanks to the phonograph record, it was everywhere. Black and white bands delighted dancers and outraged their elders in every American city. The music was still closely linked to ragtime, brassy and hard driving. Solos were virtually unknown. But when the First World War came to an end and the jazz age started in earnest, the music began to change. The story of jazz became the story of two great American cities. Chicago, where black New Orleans musicians found fame and a new white audience. And New York, where two very different neighborhoods, Times Square and Harlem, played host to a group of dedicated musicians, each struggling to find his own distinctive voice. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., the privileged son of middle-class parents, a debonair piano-playing high school dropout named Edward Kennedy Ellington, was beginning to write his own music and wondered whether he could succeed as a musician in the wider world. And in New Orleans, where it had all begun, a teenage boy was playing cornet in honky-tonks, pulling in crowds, beginning to make art out of the turbulent, often violent world around him. His name was Louis Armstrong, and to many, his extraordinary genius would seem like a gift from God.
I don't believe Louis Armstrong was a real human being. I still believe that God sent him to this earth to be a special messenger, to make people happy. You see, I think that music is therapy. For me, music has always been as intoxicating as alcohol or a reefer or any kind of drugs. The sound of music could stimulate in me love, happiness, creativity. And I think Louis Armstrong was sent here as a messenger of the good Lord to make people happy. And that's what he dedicated his life to doing.
Armstrong is, in a way, American music's Bach, American music's Dante, American music's Shakespeare. Why? Because he comes at a point in the music's history. It's not the birth of the music. It's been around for 30 years. But it's the moment when it becomes an art form. He is the figure who codifies, who assimilates everything that's happened before, and he shows where the future is going to be.
This is very interesting because in New Orleans, now we learned that there was a Creole people who were of mixed blood. They were a mixture of Spanish, French, and Negro blood. These people contribute to the music of jazz. But at the same time, there is the Baptist Church with its chanting and the choir singing, influencing the black music. And that influence becomes spirituals and gospels and the like. And then there's this minstrel show business. The minstrel shows are interesting because it's again a mixture of Negroes and white people in a sort of a musical. But the white people painting their faces black, sort of imitating blacks, but in a sort of condescending way. And this was very popular during the first half of the 20th century. sort of white people painting themselves black and impersonating black people. Even though there was this very, very strong racism in the United States, in music, this was not there. It was sort of the white people tried to be blacks in music. Bojangles canım. Evet, oraya bak. Onu da geç. Nerede yazıyor Bojangles? Onu da geç. Ha, tamam. Evet, o.